First, I want to announce that they have now confirmed they are going to be completing the Theros God cycle. So for those who don't know, the Theros Gods are legendary enchantment creatures with indestructible that require a level of devotion to become actual creatures, otherwise they just sit as enchantments. So we're getting the original Heliod, the original Thassa, the original Erebos, the original Perforos, which will be a beast in Brawl decks, and the original Nylea. And most importantly for us Niv players, we have all 10 of the multicolour gods now confirmed. So we already knew of Aphrios and Mogus, but we now have... Xenagos is already in the client because it was previewed previously. But yes, so we now have the complete cycle of the gods. What does it mean for Niv to Light players? Well, some of these might occasionally see play. I mean, I talked before about how Mogus could be seen as a grindier card to exist in, but maybe not. So just to go over them, each of the multicolored gods has the devotion requirement of 7 and does a different thing. So Aphrios, if a creature you control dies, an opponent has to either pay free life or let you put it back into your hand, which is pretty decent in certain build strategies like an aristocrat-y deck, but not too bad there. Ifara, Goddess of the Poles, she will draw a card at every upkeep if another creature entered the battlefield under your control in the previous turn. So if you play a creature on your turn and Ifara is on the field, next turn, in your opponent's turn, you will draw a card. Iroas, God of Victory, is going to be a Brawl All-Star. He gives all your creatures menace and prevents all damage that will be dealt to attacking creatures you control. So you can see how busted that will be in every Boros aggro-based deck that exists. Karametra, the God of the Harvest, has the ability that whenever you cast a creature spell, you tutor a forest or a plains from your battle deck and put it onto the battlefield tapped. Does not specify basic, so you can grab Triomes, Shocklands, whatever you need. Keranos, God of the Storms, basically gives you a kind of reverse monarch, half monarch I call it. Basically, you will always reveal the first card you draw on your turn. If it's a non-land card, you get to do free damage to any target. If it's a land, you get to draw an additional card. So, it's half a monarch, but could be more than a monarch. Basically, he wants you to play in a deck where you'll draw in other people's turns as well. We have Krufix, the God of Horizons. Basically, turns all your unspent mana into colorless, and basically you don't lose mana in between phases, so a good Simic ramp to just ramp. Mogus, we discussed before, basically he's a slug commander. He basically will do 2 damage if an opponent doesn't sack a creature. Faraka, the God of Affliction. So she has the ability to exile a creature card from a graveyard, and its owner will then create a snake enchantment creature with Death Touch. So, incidental graveyard hate, but also maybe something for Brawl. But free mana, she's the cheapest, I believe, or one of the 2 cheapest. Phoenix, the God of Deception, basically gives all your creatures the ability to tap, mill cards equal to your toughness. So, strongest mill commander there is. Xenagos, we've probably seen this already on Arena because it's there. Double power and double damage. What does this mean for Niv to Light players? Well, it facilitates some fun brews. One deck I previously many years ago was trying was a Niv God based deck where we had a god at pretty much 2, 3, 4 and 5 in terms of mana value, and with Bring to Light we could tutor them out because they are effect creatures when they're in your deck, so they are tutorable with creature effects. But honestly, of all of them, I'm most excited for Keranos. I believe I will probably try and slam this somewhere, maybe in a 60 card Gigantha list because of his requirement to not stress that. But if I was to recreate the Niv to Light God deck, I would definitely put probably Ifara, because she and Keranos together are pretty good. You play a creature on your turn, get an Ifara trigger on the next turn, Keranos will trigger again because it's the first card you draw on every turn. Aside from that, I would probably have Mogus. I don't think we got a place for Karametra in any of our decks, but she's one of my old favourite gods. But yes, of those three, I would rank for your decks: Keranos, Mogus, probably Afara. But yes, this is very happy to have this cycle completed. Get used to seeing these cards. They're going to be all-stars in the Brawl decks. And I will definitely be playing with them in Explorer. I don't know if maybe there'll be sideboard cards, but we'll see. We'll see.